Nosferatu is the story of a vampire who wants to bang some guy's wife. Hannah, what did you think of Nosferatu?
I liked it.
Why?
I liked the part where he banged that guy's wife. What about you?
I also like the part where he banged the guy's wife.
Come to me.
The trailer they made for this movie is so good, and they built up so much mystery about the character in the trailer that I didn't really expect him to be such a chatterbox of a vampire, you know?
He had a lot to say.
Based on the trailer, it seems like he would be like a classic horror movie, like silent sort of villain, but that's fine. I don't know. I thought that the movie was like so perfect for the first hour of it, where it's just more of like a mood piece, I guess, you know? It's all those like Robert Eggers movies are just, they're just about like soaking in the atmosphere, and he makes it very realistic and of the times.
I liked the creepiness once he came to Germany. I liked the thread of like, you have 3 days and I'm gonna like make life hell for you until you give in to what I want. I thought that whole like plot section was just very creepy and very ominous. And like, I was interested to see what type of like hell he was going to inflict.
Yeah, me too. He didn't really do a whole lot, though.
He did enough. Well, you wanted more than like him killing all those children and everything?
I wanted him to murder everyone. Yeah, I thought the whole build-up to like, what's his face, Nicholas Holt's character going up to the castle, that made me giddy like a child. It was so cool. I think the thing about this movie is that when it's good, it feels like the perfect modernized version of that story, because it still has so many like old school elements to it, you know, like all the shadow effects and all the silhouettes and stuff. There was something about that, and like when he starts walking up the castle and you hear Count Orlok's voice for the first time, and it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And I remember just thinking like, is everyone else gonna laugh at this, or is this
There was a lot of moments where like I was so nervous that the audience was gonna laugh, because I hate going to a crowded movie. I try to avoid it as best I can, because if people are like laughing when you're not supposed to laugh, I want to kill them.
We got a few chuckles right at the end. At the very ending scene. But yeah, like his whole introduction was so good. There's so much like, I don't know, there's so much like dread building up to that moment.
Yeah.
And then the Nicholas Holt character, I think he's Thomas in the movie, right? He, he just sells it, because he just looks absolutely fucking terrified the whole time. And like, that's a thing that from the other versions that I've seen, they didn't really do as much, which seems like it's such an obvious decision. I think that's why I like the Robert Eggers guy, is that like, he makes so many simple little decisions. Like, you see Count Orlok for the first time, and he's completely in shadow, and his face is in shadow for like the first 5 minutes that you see him.
I feel like even more than that.
Yeah, but that's awesome. And it's like, it seems so obvious, but it's like, why did no one do that? So I just love like the simple filmmaking decisions that he made, you know?
He's coming.
Who is coming to you, my child?
One of my, not even complaints, but something I wish they went further in, was I thought the whole like idea of his journey from Germany to Romania was so creepy. And like, I liked the shots of him just like in the wilderness. And I was like, oh yeah, if someone had to go on a journey in the 1800s, they're riding through nothing for a long time to get to where they have to go. And I wish they kind of emphasized that like desolation and how long the journey took, because I feel like that would have even like built it up more, how like he's not going to turn back when he gets to the castle, because he's been on horseback for weeks to get here. And I wish they showed more of that, just because I think it would have been cool.
I guess that there were definitely parts where I wanted to like soak it in more.
Yeah.
Like, he has the coolest shot ever where there's a whole sequence of shots that are absolutely perfect. It's like from the time the carriage pulls up and it looks like some...
Oh, I loved that.
Yeah, I'm sure a million people said it, but it just it looks and feels like a dream, that whole scene. And then like the pacing just picks up like crazy, and the music picks up, and then there's like this crazy like push-in shot to the castle, and that's all you see of it. And I was like, parts of that I wouldn't mind if they dragged it out more. Yeah. You know? Because I feel like that's the thing that he's kind of best at. Did I say enough good things now?
Yeah.
Did I say enough good things? Or do I have to say more so that people don't yell at me?
If you only want good things, goodbye.
If you only want to hear good things, this is where you turn the video off. So.
Did you see that that thing on his face?
Oh God, yeah. What the fuck? Why would they? That's insane. People are not talking about how crazy it is to add a mustache.
Yeah, there is not enough discourse about the mustache.
It's not just that they added a mustache, Hannah. It's that the character has been around for 100 years.
He's been growing it the whole time.
And they added a mustache. You can't do that.
They did.
If you think that's acceptable, here's a montage of other characters with a mustache. Imagine if they just, the next Mario game, he's just doesn't have a mustache.
Yeah, mustache is optional. You can have one, you can't, you can not have one.
Yeah, but you know what? I thought that Count Orlok looked cool. I thought the actual face looked cool.
I wanted him to look scarier. I felt like, especially because, you know, we kind of understood the weight of like Nicholas Hoult coming this far and he's at this castle and he's disoriented and he's already creeped out and they're not showing who he's interacting with the first couple minutes of him interacting with him. I felt like he could have looked like anything. Like I wanted him to look even scarier. Like he looked like he could have been a person.
Yeah,
I wanted him to be even creepier.
I guess.
He is coming.
He is coming to us.
The characters don't really do anything. Like, no, the characters have basically no agency in the story whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's like the movie just happens.
Well, Nosferatu does. He's doing whatever he wants.
Yeah, he wants to bang that guy's wife so good.
Yeah.
He wants to bang that guy's wife better than Nicholas Hoult. In fact, he can.
And he does,
Yeah. But yeah, everyone kind of just like sits around for a while and... You know, Count Orlok is like, I'm gonna murder the whole city. And then the Aaron Taylor Johnson character is like, I don't know if this is a vampire doing all this. And like, normally that character, like the skeptic character, would be like a cop or a sheriff or someone who has some power who, if he believed it, he would be able to do something about it.
He's just a guy.
He's just a guy. And they keep going back to that scene where he's like, I don't know. And so, I don't know. And then... So the characters finally decide to do something in like the last 15 minutes. And it's not super satisfying. The girl decides to consent to being raped by the vampire. And then he forgets to close the curtains and then dies.
Classic.
Wouldn't that be, if you were an ancient vampire and your only enemy is the sun, wouldn't the first thing you do when you walk into any room is just shut the curtains?
I mean, he didn't think that she would let him do it for that long.
Do you think Nos forgot to shut the curtains?
Yeah. I wish they showed more of a moral dilemma. That I felt like Lily Rose Depp, I liked her acting. I've heard like various reviews on it, but personally, I thought she did a good job. I thought she was like adequately creepy, but also kind of like hollow and numb to the whole thing. And I thought all of that came across in her performance. But I don't, and this isn't really a complaint on her. It's more so a complaint on like the directing, that like we didn't see her wrestle with the concept at all. Like I would have liked if like when he first threatened her, you know, maybe she didn't take it seriously, or maybe she thought that she could withstand it, but like we don't know what she thought about that initial threat. And then when she finally decided to do it, it was like she knew it had to be done. But we didn't see her be like, well, this fucking sucks. And also we don't know, I mean, or I don't know if she knew she was sacrificing herself, or if she thought it was just going to be like a, you know, like a little nightcap.
I think she knew.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's funny. I didn't even think about that. That, yeah, there was no like Yeah, you just see her kind of like flip a switch.
Yeah, and she was like, all right, I have to get my husband out so I can bang this undead vampire.
No, let's be real. The undead vampire banged her. Okay?
True, yeah, she kind of just lied there.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the main problem. I just feel like, I've seen different Dracula remakes, and I think the ending of Dracula is just so much more satisfying. It's like, and also, I don't know if I'm just projecting, but we were there in a pretty packed theater, and it felt like when the sun comes up and he's just staring out the window, there was just like the theater deflated a little. We're like, really? That's it? You have this epic build-up to this character. The trailers are like, he's coming!
Yeah.
He's coming! Who's coming? And then he dies from the window being open?
But he did come.
He did come.
Nosferatu.
Okay, I have some nitpicks.
All right, let's hear him.
Now, I'm not really the biggest horror movie fan, but as you know, I own a haunted attraction. My job includes directing the attraction, set designing it, blah, blah, blah. I feel like there are simple things that this movie doesn't do very well. Like Count Orlok. Count Orlok has this big overcoat, and it makes his silhouette not particularly scary. And if you go back to the 1922 version, there is this famous shot where his shadow is on the wall right before he enters the girl's room, and it's so creepy. Mm-hmm. It is the creepiest shit ever. And I feel like, every time that Robert Eggers tried to make a scene creepy or get a jump scare, it did not work. Like, there's a jump scare right in the beginning, and again, packed theater, not a peep.
Well, I'm not a big peeper, but I feel like that jump scare, like right in the beginning, right? Mm-hmm. That was effective for me.
Really?
Like, I thought that, for me, set the scene of this not just being kind of like a monotonous Robert Eggers movie. Mm-hmm. And I liked the creepy imagery. And yeah, sure, it didn't, like, make me scream, but I liked it. I appreciated that it was there.
I'm happy that he went for jump scares, because people usually write them off as, like, it automatically sucks if you try and do that. Mm-hmm. I always like when they're done well.
Yeah, I think, for me, it added tension to it. And, like, it made us kind of feel the fear that they feel.
Maybe, I don't know. I just feel like none of them got me, I mean, it's a pretty easy thing to measure whether a jump scare works or not. And every single time it happened, I was like, okay. Mm-hmm. So I just feel like he's very good at atmosphere. He sometimes is able to get creepy shots of things. There were very imaginative shots, like the very opening, I think it's in the trailer. His shadow is behind the curtain that's blowing through the window. Mm-hmm. Again, the hand over the town. He's very creative with a lot of stuff. I just don't think that he knows how to scare people. And I don't want to brag, but it's my job to scare people.
You are a professional scarer.
I'm a professional haunted house owner. That's what I do.
All right, scare me right now.
Okay. What's that?
What?
I go on Threads a lot now because I like to torture myself. And every day there's a new stupid opinion that I hate. There was a post today and it was like, I saw Nosferatu. If you're the kind of person who likes explosions and car chases, this movie is not for you. And it's like, do you have to be so fucking condescending? Can't you just say your opinion without having to shit? Because that's the thing. Just because a movie is slow and it's made from like an indie director or a guy who worked on indie projects before, doesn't automatically mean the movie's good. Like, it's a good movie. I liked it. There are certainly problems with it.
So do you think someone who only likes movies with big booms would like this?
No.
So you agree with them?
Fuck, I do. Well, maybe. I mean, I like big booms in movies.
You do like big booms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as much as I'm like nitpicking stuff, I did like the movie. I'm glad I saw it. I think,
Yeah, I think overall we both gave it a yes for ought to.
All right. You could have that.
Thank you.
Well, thanks. Thanks for being here again.
Me or?
Yeah, you.
You could have done another jump scare on me because I looked away.
Oh. Well, thanks for being here again.
Who? Me?